In a world just parallel to ours exists a mystical realm known only as the Gardens. It is a place where feasts never end, games of croquet have devastating consequences, and teenagers are punished for growing up. For a select group of masters, it's a decadent paradise where time stands still. For those who serve them, however, it's a slow torture where their lives can be ended in a blink.
In a bid to escape before their youth betrays them, Dora and Thistle, best friends and confidants, set out on a remarkable journey through time and space. Travelling between their world and ours, they hunt the one person who can grant them freedom. Along the way, they encounter a mysterious traveller who trades in favours and never forgets debts, a crossroads at the centre of the universe, our own world on the brink of war, and a travelling troupe of actors with the ability to unlock the fabric of reality.
This is my first foray into Tidbeck, and by the looks of her previous works, she seems to showcase a penchant for the surreal and the uncanny. Now, this book is no exception. It creates a world where time is fluid, memories shape reality, and cruelty masquerades as entertainment. It explores themes of power, identity, and rebellion against oppressive forces in a way that is both unsettling and deeply resonant.
One of the novel's most compelling aspects is its exploration on the nature of time and memory. The denizens of the Gardens live in a stagnant, cyclical existence, where the passage of time is artificially controlled. Their immortality is both a privilege and a curse, as they remain trapped in a never-ending loop of their own making. Meanwhile, outside the Gardens, time functions differently, and memories hold power both as weapons and as a means of self-determination.
You okay?
Why do you ask?
You glitched just now.
Glitched? What do you mean, glitched?
You went like this.
No, I didn't.
I saw you do it.
I reckon your brain glitched, Geordie.
Another striking theme of the memory theatre is the nature of identity and autonomy. Thistle's arc is particularly powerful, as his journey is not just about escaping his captors, but about understanding himself. Throughout the book, he grapples with feelings of displacement and transformation, particularly as he discovers his true nature in an unexpected way. His struggle is not only external, but deeply internal, as he figures out who he is beyond the name and fate imposed upon him.
The novel also critiques power and cruelty, especially through the character of Lady Augusta and the immortals of the Gardens. Their endless games of excess and domination mirror real-world systems of privilege, where the suffering of the powerless is ignored or even enjoyed by those in control. The act of consuming children to maintain youth and status serves as a chilling metaphor for the way power is often maintained at the expense of the vulnerable.
Dude, you keep glitching.
I'm doing no such thing, Geordie.
Fucking play the tape back. I need to...
Power both as weapons and as a means of self-determination.
You okay?
Why do you ask? I don't see anything happening, Geordie.
You glitched. I swear to God, you glitched.
Tidbeck's prose is lyrical and evocative, balancing the beauty of a fairy tale with the horror of a nightmare. The novel's world feels both lush and grotesque, filled with dreamlike landscapes that are enchanting on the surface, but deeply unsettling upon closer inspection. The Gardens, in particular, are vividly rendered as a place of decadent horror, where the aristocrats indulge in endless feasts and parties, while their servants suffer in silence.
The memory theatre itself is a fascinating setting, an eerie, minimal space where reality bends to the performances enacted within it. Here, plays do more than entertain. They shape history, rewrite destinies, and expose hidden truths. Tidbeck's ability to craft such a world, where logic is secondary to atmosphere and emotion, makes the novel an immersive experience. The tone fluctuates between whimsical and nightmarish, making it feel like a lost folktale that has been passed down through generations, one that carries both beauty and horror in equal measure.
The Memory Theatre is a haunting, poetic novel that lingers in the mind long after reading. It weaves a world that is both dreamlike and terrifying, offering a unique take on fantasy that feels deeply personal, yet universal. Tidbeck's talent for unsettling storytelling shines here, making the book a must-read for fans of dark fantasy, existential horror, and surreal folklore.
This is not a straightforward fantasy novel. It is a philosophical, eerie, and deeply emotional exploration on time, power, and selfhood. And Tidbeck's packed all of that in a little over 60,000 words, so you could probably read this thing in an afternoon if you really wanted. Now, my boy, let's hear some criticisms.
Mainly just the pacing. The book begins with a compelling and eerie setup in the gardens, a world where immortal aristocrats indulge in cruelty and enslave children. This section is immersive, rich in gothic horror, and establishes the stakes effectively. However, once the protagonists escape, the story takes on a fragmented, wandering structure. Instead of a steadily building plot, the novel feels episodic, as if it were a collection of loosely connected vignettes rather than a cohesive journey. The transition from the gardens to the memory theatre is abrupt, and the theatre itself, while fascinating conceptually, does not feel as fully realised or integral to the story as the title suggests. The latter half of the book meanders, and the climax feels somewhat anticlimactic, lacking the tension one might expect given the stakes. Given that the book is titled The Memory Theatre, one would expect the theatre to be a central and transformative aspect of the story. However, despite its intriguing concept, a place where performances shape reality, the theatre feels like an afterthought.
And I don't think the book spent enough time developing the mechanics or significance of the memory theatre. It serves as a setting for some crucial revelations, but it does not feel like a fully developed space in the way the gardens do. Readers may be left wondering why the novel was named after a location that, while thematically interesting, does not dominate the story in a meaningful way. Criticisms aside, I do want to commend Karin on her ability to create such a unique, unusual and imaginative world. And speaking of which, if you haven't already, go get a copy of my book, The Pilgrim's Verity. Link is in the description.
Thanks for your time, lovelies. We'll see you in the next one. Mwah.